I'm back and I'm poking a hornet's nest, but oh well. I saw Supergirl on premiere day and I just saw it a second time, and guess what? I still like it and my score is the same. A 7.5 out of 10. Who knows? Maybe if I see it a third time, the movie might just grow on me even more. A year ago, I remember going to the movie theater to see Superman, and I remember walking out happy after the movie was over. When I saw Supergirl at the end of Superman coming to the Fortress of Solitude all drunk, I will admit I was like, what the hell? Mainly because it didn't seem like her being some drunk party girl, but then my older brother told me about her in a comic book story titled Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and explains why she is like that. After I was told about it, I remained skeptical yet curious to see how it was going to turn out. When I learned that the Supergirl movie would premiere the following year, I was skeptical yet curious and eager to see James Gunn's take on the character. And I was eager to see how Millie Alcock would portray the character, and to be honest, after I saw the movie, she exceeded my expectations in the same way that Robert Pattinson exceeded my expectations as Batman back in 2022. Now, when it comes to Supergirl in movies and TV shows, the women who portrayed the character before Millie Alcock are Helen Slater, Laura Vandervoort, Melissa Benoist, and Sasha Calle. The 1984 movie with Helen Slater as the titular character was not well received as it lacked story and wasn't very interesting. Still, Helen did quite a good job as a character. Laura Vandervoort played Kara Zor-El in the TV show Smallville, but only for a little while. I liked her portrayal of the character as she was powerful, independent, yet she had vulnerability and confusion as she was trying to adjust to life on Earth. Melissa Benoist did an amazing job in the TV series, even if the show had more downs than ups sometimes. Melissa truly embodied the warmth, charm, and classic hero energy that made Supergirl a lovable character, as she had badass moments, emotional moments, and very powerful moments too. The Flash might have been a really shitty movie, but you cannot deny that Sasha Calle did a damn good job as a character. I liked the take on Supergirl, who was this dark and gritty version of the character that we all know and love. Before Supergirl premiered, there were people already hating on the movie. And who are these people hating on the movie? You guessed right. It's the anti-woke grifters and these alt-right zealots who show their sexism, calling it feminist propaganda, girl boss propaganda, woke propaganda, the usual nonsensical rhetoric they use all the time. I am never surprised when these anti-woke grifters cry about a female lead in a superhero movie about a female hero. They tend to call people who call them out on their bullshit and defend this movie as fragile, simps, white knights, etc. What's ironic is that these anti-woke grifters like Critical Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, Ranting for Vengeance, Nerdrotic, Doomcock, Mecha Random 42, and many of their ilk are fragile themselves since they cry how the movie is going to be woke and political. These alt-right zealots like Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, and those of their ilk hate on Supergirl because it's a girl boss and anti-male movie. Did they even see the movie? Probably they did, but did not understand and only saw it to not see the good in it, but to find what attacks her political points of view. Every time there is a movie with a female lead, a black lead, a Latino lead, an Asian lead, an LGBTQ lead, they show their fragility by crying and bitching about political agendas, feminist agendas, virtue signaling, woke agendas, The usual nonsense. The fuck your feelings people sure have a lot of feelings. These haters call Millie Alcock ugly and they wished for the movie to fail. These guys act like fragile little boys who act like they still think that girls have cooties. To be honest, Supergirl was always feminist, just like Wonder Woman. And both Supergirl and Superman are immigrants. Supergirl is about bridging the gap between man and woman, and she is pro-immigration and pro-equality. Now, let's talk about the movie, and warning, there will be spoilers. The Supergirl movie was directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Ana Nogueira. Though he doesn't have much of a huge role, David Corenswet reprises his role as Superman, and Jason Momoa, who previously played Aquaman in the DCEU, is playing as Lobo. To be honest, I like Jason Momoa as Lobo than Aquaman, as he truly fits the character. The movie is about Supergirl, who goes on a journey to track down an adversary who has poisoned her pet dog, Krypto. Meanwhile, she encounters a young girl named Ruthie, who is after the same adversary that Supergirl is after to avenge the death of her family. In the story of the movie, we see that Supergirl was raised on a chunk of Krypton called Argo City, which suddenly becomes contaminated with a mineral known as kryptonite, poisoning the population and killing her mother, Allura Inze. Her father, Zor-El, decides to send her and Krypto to planet Earth, where she meets her cousin Kal-El, who is known to the people of Earth as Superman. Kara Zor-El struggles with adjusting to life on Earth, and she goes to planet to have red sunlight with her dog Krypto so she can party and get drunk. The reason why she gets drunk is because she wanted to have a birthday without thinking of her home planet, and it also served as a coping mechanism. Here's the thing. People get drunk for silly, stupid reasons, and also as a coping mechanism because they don't want to think about painful and traumatic things. Not talking about your pain and trauma and drinking your sorrows away makes things a lot more difficult and painful. Supergirl gets drunk easily when she's in a red planet, in a planet with red sunlight, because, as we all know, yellow sunlight prevents Kryptonians from getting intoxicated from alien brews. May I mention once again that her drunkenness is a coping mechanism because she's traumatized by how her home planet was destroyed and the loss of her mother and her home contaminated by kryptonite. Now, when she meets Ruthie, things start to change throughout the story. Ruthie wants revenge on Krem of the Yellow Hills for killing her parents and wants to recruit Kara for help, but denies her. When her dog Krypto is poisoned, she reluctantly goes with Ruthie to obtain the cure from Krem. In this journey, we see how Kara evolves from this depressed and drunken Kryptonian to the hero that she is meant to become, such as mentoring Ruthie and advising her on how revenge will not ease the pain, but only make it worse. Assisting both Kara and Ruthie is Lobo, a Sarnian bounty hunter. Teaching people that revenge will not bring loved ones back from the dead is important. Revenge will not heal the wounds, but fester them, as you will try to kill another bastard similar to the one who took the life of someone you love, and another, until one horrible morning you wake up and realize how vengeance has clouded your mind, your senses, and has become your circle and your whole life. Revenge leads down a bad path, and that said, it does not heal the wounds, it festers the wounds. We also see women captured by Krem and his brigands, since they were going to use these women for sexual pleasure against their own free will. Using women for sexual pleasure against their own free will is extremely low, cruel, and inhuman. Historically speaking, the rulers of ancient kingdoms such as Egyptian pharaohs, Roman emperors, Persian emperors, and even Christian kings used women as their concubines against their own will. And not just kings and emperors, but also noblemen as well. And in modern times, a lot of war crimes such as the Vietnam War, a lot of soldiers violated innocent women. And that is a sad and tragic thing. In times of war, many armies that invaded kingdoms would use the women as sexual objects and impregnate them against their own free will, and that is evil. If that is not evil to you, you need serious help. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts of the movie, Millie Alcock did an amazing job as Supergirl, and so did Jason Momoa as Lobo. Eve Ridley was fantastic as Ruthie, and I like how she was mentored by Supergirl, and she also motivated her to take action and do what is right. Matthias Schoenaerts did really well as Krem. The humor was sometimes funny, sometimes awkward that sounded like a meh. It lacked some plot solving in some moments, but overall it was a fun movie, I must say. Some people liked it more than Superman, others did not, and that's okay. Like I said once in my essay defending the Star Wars sequel trilogy, when you like or don't like a movie, that's okay. Just don't be a fucking asshole about it, like name calling people who liked it or didn't like the movie. But of course, there are people who hate the movie for petty, stupid reasons as well, like these anti-woke grifters and alt-right zealots. Now, what's really funny is that the anti-woke grifters and alt-right zealots are telling people to watch Uwe Boll's latest movie titled Citizen Vigilante because it's better than Supergirl. What the hell are these guys on? When it comes to Uwe Boll making a movie, you know that it's going to be a piece of shit movie like all his previous movies, mostly video game adaptations, in which all of them were shit. The thing with these anti-woke grifters and alt-right zealots, they cry about stop pushing politics down our throats when it comes to movies like Supergirl. The only politics they want to see in movies are those that align with their own politics. And they say those against them are petty. They're the petty ones. And that is all I have to say. There will be backlash for everything I said, but I said what I said. These people who wish for Supergirl to fail and call Millie Alcock ugly, they snitched on themselves with their sexism. As a man, these anti-woke grifters and alt-right zealots will call me a simp and a white knight for defending this movie from them, which does not surprise me at all. Cry harder, because that's not going to change my mind about the movie. This is John of Video Games in the World. Have a good one. Stay safe. Peace.